There is no use in making a change that does not stick. You spend time and energy and effort trying to change to something only to find yourself back where you started. So how do you avoid this? The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is reinforcement. In this video, we will be exploring what reinforcement in the ADKAR model is, how to best build and measure it in individuals, and how organizations can best leverage it. This is the last video in a 6-part series on the ADKAR model, so if you haven't already seen them, check the links in the description box below. My name is Nick, and we are And Change. Reinforcement is the step that helps us maintain the change. It is defined by the actions we take to normalize the change. If the step is done well, then the change no longer feels like a change. It feels comfortable and normal. Reinforcement is also the step that is most often forgotten or even ignored, but it is actually the most costly step to omit. Neglecting this step means you will likely revert to the old ways of doing things, meaning that you will again need to build awareness, desire, knowledge, and ability for your change. Not tackling reinforcement also means that you're setting up a history of failed past changes, a pattern of unsuccessful change. This is such an important factor that in our certification programs, change managers actually evaluate this as one of the risk factors to change success. Let's take fitness as an example. Let's say you frequent the gym every single week, and then you miss a single week. When you do eventually return, you'll find yourself out of breath after just a few exercises. All your muscles will ache and pain, both during and after, and that will make you not want to return at all. But if you reinforce the change and keep going to the gym every single week, then exercise starts becoming easier. You won't ache and pain like you did, and you can ultimately enjoy a longer, happier, and more energetic life. In essence, therefore, reinforcement is where you sustain the change. So how does one measure it? You measure reinforcement by evaluating how well the change is maintained. You can do this by tracking performance and achievements and assessing how many incentive or deterrent mechanisms are in place. As a change leader, you should also consider your role in building reinforcement. You can measure what are the incentive mechanisms that you have put in place. Ask yourself the question, what have I done to make the change stick? What barriers can I remove? Let's take that fitness example again. How do you measure your own reinforcement for going to the gym? Well, you can look at how often you go and for how long, and how many sit-ups you do when you do go. Also ask yourself, what are the incentive mechanisms you've put in place? How do you reward yourself when you go to the gym? Or, conversely, how many deterrents are in place? What is it that is stopping you from going to the gym every day? But how do we go about building reinforcement in a person? Let's say the change the person is undergoing is to stop smoking. If you're in the reinforcement stage, that person has already stopped smoking, but we all know how easy it is to fall back into old habits. So, how do you reinforce this change? First and foremost, communication. Communication is important even when you are building reinforcement in yourself. Check in with yourself and give yourself regular progress updates. Also, recognize and acknowledge your short-term successes. Once we've communicated, we can now offer feedback on what we've learned. Remember to include both the positive feedback and the negative feedback. The positive feedback will come from your short-term successes. What did you get right? Whilst the negative feedback will become clear in your progress reports or progress updates, where you can see what it is you didn't get right or perhaps missed out on altogether. It is important that this feedback is honest and truthful. Don't beat around the bush. Face those hard truths head on. That being said, all things in balance. You need to use both a carrot and a stick approach when dealing with individuals. That means offer them the rewards, but also make clear the consequences of not changing. Note that I say consequence and not necessarily punishment. This is because some people change when they see the light, but others only change when they feel the heat. Feedback can often lead to a drop in desire, but we can mitigate that by rewarding adoption. That means recognizing those short-term wins, as well as achieving and recognizing again those long-term goals. Ask yourself, what do you do to celebrate success? How does a smoker reward himself for not smoking? This is actually the most common pitfall to building reinforcement. It is very easy to catch someone doing something wrong, but it is incredibly difficult to catch someone doing something right. It is important to celebrate those successes. You know, enjoy the little things.
She's right. You gotta enjoy the little things, even if that means destroying.
At our core, humans are social beings. So we need to acknowledge the role that people around us play, even in the instance where we are managing a change in ourselves. Ask yourself, what support could others be providing? Is it more difficult for a smoker to stop smoking when he's surrounded by smokers? So how do you build reinforcement in teams, groups, or organizations? There are 4 core plans in the ProSci methodology. 3 of them are designed to build reinforcement in people impacted by the change. Namely, those are the sponsor plan, the communications plan, and the people managers plan. Change practitioners put these plans together very carefully by considering who, what, when, how, and most importantly, why. To expand on these a little bit, you could consider who is needed for the change, why are we changing, what needs to be done, how are we going to do it, and when should the change occur. These 3 plans leverage a range of activities, all designed to build reinforcement. If you'd like to know what all those activities are, they are all available in ProSci's research, given to you as part of our program. For the purposes of this video though, let's focus on 2 of the 5 most effective activities. Just as with the individual, communication is crucial to building reinforcement. Managers should communicate their status updates and their success stories. Don't forget about lessons learned and frequently asked questions. This can often mitigate a problem before it even arises. Recognition is another activity that can be used to build reinforcement. By recognizing wins, not only face-to-face, but also openly and publicly, you can make great exemplars for their colleagues to follow. Remember, enjoy the little things.
Rule number 32, enjoy the little things.
Knowing how to tailor these change plans is precisely why having a skilled change manager on your project is essential to your project's success. If you're interested in being that change manager, check out our website. So, to sum it all up, a key step in anybody's change journey is reinforcement. It is at this stage in ADKAR where we really drive the change home until it no longer feels any different or like a change. At the end of the day, we are working with people. And what better way to work with them than by being kinder with ourselves and others. This is the last video in our ADKAR series, but fear not, because we will be making many more educational series just like this one. Our very next one, for example, is going to be about change management in an agile environment. Let us know in the comments section down below how you would build ADKAR in an agile process. Remember to subscribe and leave us a like. Thank you so much for watching, and from myself, Nick, and everyone here at AndChange, happy changes!